What's up guys? It's me, Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100percentfinance.com. Mr. Cash Flow, Mr. Passive Income, the people's mentor. I got what you need to succeed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your viewership. Topic of discussion for today is about me, Juan Pablo. First and foremost, yes, Juan Pablo is my actual name. People think I'm just making this up, like it's a pen name or something. No, I was born with it, alright? Just let that be known, okay? Let's get into it. About me. So, if I had to break my life, my story, into a book, I would break it down to 4 chapters just to keep it short and sweet for you, just in case you guys are wondering who I am, alright? So I'm going to allow you to listen to my story so I can give you a taste of what Juan Pablo is comprised of, okay? So Juan Pablo started out, chapter 1, being broke, okay? I know what it's like to grow up in a household, single parent household, okay, getting tongue-tied, in which your mother can't afford the simple things in life. You know, we spent several nights, I should say, without electricity or no beds, relocating from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Atlanta, having to go to school with lint in my hair because I had to sleep on the carpet, right? And I also know what it's like not to get Christmas gifts, not because I didn't do good in school. I was a great student, but your mom just couldn't afford it. You know, so I had to kind of like make sure I didn't wear these clothes for a while so people would think when I came back from Christmas break that it was new clothing. And I know what it's like to get clothes from the thrift store and you have staples in the back of your shirt with some construction paper letting you know that shirt was $1.50 on your back. I know what it's like to be poor. And growing up as a young man in poverty, I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that I had people from the church bring boxes of food to our household to pray for us. I mean, of course, I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. But I believe that we should at least be making just enough. We were in not enough, okay? And some of you guys who are watching today, you may be in not enough. You might have problems with your relationships, problems with your income, problems where your credit score is concerned. You might not be able to afford your bills. Letting you know, I started right there with you in chapter 1. But guess what? There's more chapters available in your book as well. And there could be a turn in your personal story. Okay? Just keep the faith. Okay? So I started off broke. Chapter 2, work. So while I was broke, graduating from college, I paid myself through college by the way, I had bad credit, no money, moved back home with moms. It was a humbling experience, but I had time at my disposal. However, I was somewhat humiliated. I was ashamed of myself. So I made myself a promise that I will not engage in any leisure-like activity until I reached the financial pinnacle I aimed to reach. So I did not associate with anybody, I didn't go on any dates, I didn't hang out, none of the sort. I spent my time at home, at work, because I had a temporary job doing manual labor, even though I had a college degree now, 3.2 GPA, business major in economics, minor in statistics. But I would spend my time at home, at work, at church, or the library. The library to work on my resume and read books to improve my personal development. That's all I did. Everything else was canceled. So, as I attended the library, worked on my resume, worked on my resume, went on interviews, finally got a job with the government in New York City. So I flew to New York, started with work. While I'm in New York with work, I did my best to work hard. Now I call this the best story I ever had. I call this the greatest advice I ever had. I was being competitive, trying to do the best in my job, and I created a contest. Whoever does the most work in a week, I'll take you out to lunch. Very simple, very innocent contest. But I was reprimanded by my supervisor. She said, Juan Pablo, you can't incentivize your employees with monetary value. I'm like, huh? By treating them out to Applebee's for the 2 to 20 mil? 2 for 20 mil? Are you serious? I said, hey, but you treat us out to drinks every Friday if we do a good job. So, aren't you incentivizing us too, boss lady? And she was furious. She said, you know what? I'm writing you up. And you know what, Juan Pablo? Perhaps you're not suited for the government. Perhaps you're better suited for the private sector. You may leave now. And I really was pissed off by that reprimand because I believe I should have been congratulated because I got the results. At the end of the contest, we're normally at 25% completed, but as a result of the contest, we were at 65% completed. And then I realized, you know what? I need to take my talents elsewhere. Take this creative mindset, this entrepreneurial mindset, this competitive drive that I have, and pour it over to real estate investing. So that's my second chapter, work. So while I was working, I would hear the old adage, you know, your network determines your net worth. The more people you know, the more money you make, yada, yada, yada. Sounded cliche. To you guys, it might sound cliche as well. To you, it may sound cliche. But I would try to read books, look on YouTube videos, listen to podcasts. You're probably doing the same thing right now. And I would do that consistently to the point I realized I'm in the same financial position I was a year ago. Sure, I might have got additional raises, but still no passive income. Still no wake up whenever I feel like money. Still disgruntled. Still a broke, frustrated chump, a BFC at my 9 to 5. And you may be a BFC too, but that's subject to change. It's a fact. Facts are temporary, but the truth will overcome the facts. You will realize your potential. Believe that. And I believe that. You're like, yo, Juan Pablo, why you yelling? Because I'm passionate about it, bruh. It just does something within me. It should do something within you too, to the point it costs you to take action. So after hearing that old cliche, not really seeing financial results, I decided to go to my first networking event. And my mentor, he sat me down, met for the first time, and he told me my goal for you is to say goodbye to 9 to 5. And that's my goal for you. My goal for you is to say goodbye to the 9 to 5. And you can do it. I did it 4 years later of investing in real estate. No money, bad credit. So I did some things to gain capital, such as my favorite, my money team, my yes squad, my solid partners, my homies. I raised capital through this to finance my real estate holdings. Of course, I've used other forms of creative financing like hard money, private money, seller financing, and many more things. I don't want to spill the beans too much because we have a coaching program which you should definitely enroll in so that you can get this mindset and the blueprint to follow, because that's all we preach. You bring the burning desire, we bring the blueprint, and let's make it happen. Alright, so after 4 years of investing in real estate, I've acquired 30 units in my portfolio while maintaining a full-time job. And again, when I got started, I was broke with bad credit. You can do it too, okay? Next chapter, became financially free. At the age of 30 years old, my 30 real units in my portfolio, so I relocated from New York City back to Atlanta, Georgia, and I realized many of the people I hung out with, they would pick my brain. Hey, Juan Pablo, how'd you get business credit? Hey, Juan Pablo, how did you improve your FICO score? Hey, Juan Pablo, how did you find a deal, analyze the deal, manage the deal, and also invest out of state and then leverage the deal so you can get more deals? I'm curious. Also, how did you raise capital outside of business credit? They began to pick my brains. So I said, there's a need here. There's a market. And not only are you interested, my friend, I'm sure that there's other people like you right now who are watching me may be interested as well. And that's how I came up with 100% Finance. It's a model for investing. 100% Finance is finding an income producing asset with little to none of your own money. So you can get that passive income. What's passive income? Income that you receive on a consistent basis with little to no work required. So after I became financially free and independent, with the real estate investing, freed up my time, I began to start a business and pursue this, chapter 4. My purpose. That's our tagline. Earn passively, live passionately. If you earn passively through your real estate holdings, passive income, consistent income you receive on a consistent basis, if you're receiving that income, now you have the time available to pursue your passion in life, to find out what your purpose is, and not only pursue your purpose, but to turn your purpose into a profit, into a profitable business. How can you ever devote yourself to your purpose if you're sitting behind a cubicle? Anti-cubicle lifestyle, baby. That's what it's all about. You have a God-given ability, but you're robbing us, society, of your God-given gifts because you're strapped behind a desk. you're doing us a disservice, humanity as a whole. And I too felt the same way. So that way, when I found out what my purpose is, which is teaching the masses about financial freedom and pursuing their purpose as well, I feel alive. That's why you see me get so amped up. That's why you see all these videos. That's why you see me do events nationally around the world or write books. It's because I'm so passionate about my purpose that I want the whole world to know. So I want you to come and join this book with me. You might be in chapter 1 right now, straight broke, busted, and disgusted. You might be in chapter 2. You might be a broke, frustrated chump. Chapter 3, you might be financially free, but you haven't found your purpose. Or you haven't got to the point where you mastered multifamily investing. I want you to come to the last chapter, which is chapter 4, fulfilling your purpose. Leading a legacy. Having an inheritance of properties that you can provide to your children and your children's children. So that's what I'm about, people. Now, as of today, as of this recording, I have 63 rental units in my portfolio, have 23 business credit cards in my pocket, got over 6 figures in the bank, liquid, by the way, and I have a ton of equity in my rental portfolio. And I have my rental properties are worth about $1 million collectively. Okay? So I'm doing a thing. And right now, I'm 33 years old. And I have an abundance of time. Working is only an option for me. It's not an obligation. And I want you to join with me and be a part of the community. So I just felt like sharing my story. If you found value in this video, please share, comment below, because I love to interact with people and comment. And as a part of being a viewer, I want you to also be a doer. If I said something that struck a nerve within you, do something about it, my friend. You can do it. Believe in yourself. All right? As always, it's to your success. Earn passively, live passionately, share, comment, and subscribe.